What's up, everyone? I have a question. How can you love something and not have it affect you in the right way? These days, more and more people are pointing out the rise of media illiteracy, especially when it comes to franchises that have been a part of our lives since childhood. A movie, TV series, or game will have an uplifting theme or message that was expected to make a positive impact on your life, but for some viewers, all that flies over their heads. Let's look at the masterpiece, Princess Mononoke by Hayao Miyazaki. After a corrupted boar god attacks a village, the hero of the story, Ashitaka, is cursed by the darkness that was spread onto him. With time running out, he searches for a cure and finds himself between the strife of ironworkers who unintentionally cursed the boar god and a small wolf tribe, some the princess herself included, fighting to save the forest. All while Ashitaka resists the darkness that tries to consume him. The story has profound themes of coexistence with nature, as well as the consequences of greed, revenge, pride. Nobody here is black and white good or evil. The leader of the Ironworkers, Lady Eboshi, is the closest we have to a villain, but she's not malicious. The stability of her fortress and everyone inside is her #1 concern. The forest animals aren't purely benevolent and only want to help people. They're pissed off and hostile. As perfect as Ashitaka seems, there is some hate in him. Everyone is layered. It's not saying humans suck, it's saying that we all have that darkness in us. But we can be like Ashitaka and fight to overcome it. I won't say any more about the plot. You need to watch this movie. It will change your life and help you respect nature more. At least I hope it will, and you won't be like... Even after watching Princess Mononoke, a lot of people have been dabbling into generative AI art with the perverse Studio Ghibli filter. And there have been test remakes of the movie through generative AI. For one, AI art is a disgrace to actual artists. It steals from artists since it needs to analyze their work. And two, generative AI is extremely harmful to the environment. The high amount of electricity needed to power them, and the water to cool them down. The alarming degree of carbon dioxide emitted. If you use generative AI, be it for art, writing, or voices, you need to stop. The test remakes are like the movie's evil doppelgangers. The movie was made by humans, it's beautiful, and it cares about the Earth. The AI videos were made by soulless machines, they're hard to look at, and they don't give a crap about the Earth. And let's not ignore that Miyazaki despises AI.
極めて不愉快ですよね。そんなに気持ち悪いものをやりたいなら勝手にやってればいいだけで、僕はこれを自分たちの仕事をつなげたいとは全然思いません。極めて何か生命に対する侮辱を感じます。
It is beyond repulsive that the Studio Ghibli AI trend is a thing, going against Miyazaki's wishes. There are people who love his movies, but don't care about him as a person. Misunderstanding the environmental message is an abhorrent kindred spirit to overlooking the anti-prejudice message of X-Men, and Lord of the Rings, and Star Wars, and Ninja Turtles, and Zootopia, you get the idea. Since the 60s, X-Men has been about mutants being hated and hunted just for being mutants. The X-Men fight against that prejudice, physically and vocally. Stan Lee went with this after he started the franchise.
I didn't create them to destroy racial prejudice, but once I had them going, it occurred to me, man, this strip makes a great vehicle to talk about racial prejudice and how terrible it is.
Spider-Man also has an anti-racist vibe. Anyone of any skin color could be wearing that suit.
One of the very few comic book characters, even back then, that was covered from head to toe. Like, if Captain America, you still have this much of his face. Spider-Man's completely enveloped in his costume.
Oh, you know the good thing about that?
Yes.
You could be any kid.
Yeah.
You could be black, you could be Asian, you could be Indian, you could be anything, and imagine you were in that costume.
Right.
So I think that made it relevant to everybody everywhere.
And Spider-Man comes in and he webs the guy up and the mugger up, and then turns to the Wall Street guy and the stockbroker, and he goes, those friggin', and he uses his derogatory statement. And Spider-Man takes this guy and pins him against the wall and points to his own face and says, "What color do you think I am underneath this mask?" And the guy goes, "Ooh."
Star Wars has rebels of several races and species banding together to save the galaxy from an oppressive empire. Speaking of which, we're showing how evil empires are. Case in point, when the Galactic Empire destroyed the outgunned planet Alderaan. But we don't hear enough people talking about the of the people by Lord of the Rings also has warriors of multiple races taking the fight to the ultimate evil. The key dwarf and elf characters, Gimli and Legolas respectively, start off on bad terms due to racism.
I will be dead before I see the ring in the hands of an elf! No one trust an elf!
But after so much traveling and fighting alongside each other, they become brothers, triumphing over that racism.
Never thought I'd die fighting side by side with an elf.
What about side by side with a friend?
I could do that.
Looking at another theme that corresponds with real life, we are familiar with body positivity, and how that became more known starting in the mid-2010s. But that's not when it started. The 1996 remake of The Nutty Professor has the mild-mannered, 400-pound Professor Sherman Klump taking a weight loss serum which gives him the shape he thought he should have.
You looking for any kind of clothes in particular?
Spandex! All spandex! Where's the spandex section?
A new villainous persona develops on his own, Buddy Love. Buddy is as intelligent as Sherman, but he's a dick and a creep. With a higher sense of self-esteem, Sherman wins his battle against Buddy.
Buddy's who I thought the whole world wanted me to be. He's who I thought I wanted to be. But I learned one thing from Buddy, and I learned that life is not about being happy about how much you weigh, but just being happy with yourself.
Even then, there's been so much vitriol, racism, transphobia by people who grew up watching these movies. Here's what I don't get. A franchise is a big enough deal for you to harass and send death threats, but not a big enough deal for you to learn how to be a good person? And the material intended for children. They're pretty blunt about why you shouldn't judge others by appearance.
Slow, freak, I got work to do! Freak! Freak!
Why must humans hate everything that's different from themselves? If I didn't know better, I'd think you had feelings for this monster.
He's no monster, Gaston. You are.
Everyone's learned that it's not a person's color that counts, it's the kind of person they are inside.
How does this happen? How can you grow up on all that and become this later?
Think they'll ever learn that lesson in the real world?
Yeah, when humans get as smart as mushrooms.
Here are some factors I think are the cause of that. 1. It's just a movie. I hate that saying. This discredits any movie from being anything beyond just entertainment. Hey, don't think about it too much. It's just a movie, jeez. I get that we need to unwind with a good movie, but keep this in mind. A lot of people who work on these movies want to make something both entertaining and substantial. They want to impact other lives, helping someone learn lessons and change for the better. It's even more frustrating when it comes to kids' movies. The consensus is they're all colorful noise to distract children. Never, ever, ever think that a movie for kids can have wisdom. I grew up on Shrek, which was one of the movies that taught me not to be too quick to judge someone by how they look. Yeah, I fumbled that message a bit with a short Farquaad as their way of jabbing at Michael Eisner, but it is a wholesome message.
People take one look at me and go, ah, help, run! A big, stupid, ugly ogre. They judge me before they even know me.
The joint theme of these movies is, prejudice is stupid and we should stick together. You never hear anyone dismiss 1984 or A Christmas Carol with, it's just a book, don't think about it too much. A movie can go beyond entertainment. 2. Some viewers stop at face value. The movie American Psycho stars Patrick Bateman, a psychopath. He's a killer who's obsessed with his looks and status, not the hero of the story.
I like nothing about him. I mean, he's a completely unredeeming character, you know, and I didn't attempt to make him sympathetic at all.
Despite that, some guys watching it were inspired by how chiseled and rich Patrick is. Guys, he's a sick man. It's a cautionary tale. Don't be like him. Superheroes are generally seen as goofs in tights, flying around and getting into fight scenes. They don't do anything major like punching Nazis or giving speeches. Listen up, folks. Call me what you want, but I will never be a champion of Nazism. I will not be anyone's symbol of hate, racial prejudice, and genocide. I'm an American. Like all true Americans, I must strive to be a champion of tolerance and diversity, justice and kindness. That's what being an American, a human being, means. Shame on you if you think otherwise. Don't stop at what's on the screen. Dig deep. And 3, we're not that comfortable with being challenged. This is something that we all struggle with every now and then. I know how tempting it is to think that we don't have any flaws. We don't need to self-reflect. But that's being human. We each have our flaws and we need to work on them. It's good to be challenged, to see things from a different perspective and notice things about ourselves. It's not an attack on you. It's giving you a helping hand. When a present movie asks a few questions, it's pushed to the side by being called woke or political as a pejorative term. Hey, whoa! Don't ruin my favorite movies by making them political. They always were. Politics doesn't bog storytelling down. It can enhance them. That's one reason why I love Metal Gear. Yeah, not a movie, but bear with me. Preventing nuclear Armageddon, tension between nations, misinformation online, the Cold War. That's part of Metal Gear's DNA. Godzilla is heavily political. The first movie was on the nose about how hellish nuclear weapons are. The latest movie by Toho, -1, is anti-war. Final Fantasy 6 and 7 have teams fighting back against an evil empire and an insatiably greedy corporation. They're all political. I'm aware that the word political is used to disparage women, people of color, the LGBTQ+ community, and label them as the sole reasons for why a movie sucks. Not because of the movie itself, but because there's diversity in the cast. If you're one of the people who does this, you're a troll and you need to turn your life around. Think about it. If we only watch movies that never rock the boat or challenge us, we would feel empty. I'm not calling you ignorant or a fake fan for not noticing things in something you've been watching or playing for years. I've overlooked some things too. What I am saying is that next time you watch your favorite movies, play your favorite games, keep in mind that usually the teams behind them want to tell you something. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, click that bell, and feel free to comment what theme you feel is overlooked. Till next time.